Greetings and welcome to the Griff Report. We'll start out here with college football here on August 24th. Here, the kickoff game in Dublin, Ireland. The college football season ready to get started. Less than a week away now. While the talk isn't really on FSU making noise as a national title contender yet, Coach Norvell has a tendency of improving year to year with the programs he's had in the past there. So it'll be interesting to see if he can continue that after they did better, outplayed expectations last year. When they had the injury QB, and getting Georgia in the bowl game, just bad situation for them. They'll look to get that ugly taste out of their mouth there against a conference foe playing in an unfamiliar environment. They bring in DJ Uiungo Gulale at quarterback. He's got 3 years from Clemson. He's got 1 year from Oregon State. And, that could have been one of the best pickups in the transfer portal this year. He could be getting talked about at Heisman by the end of this year. They could definitely be a playoff contender. They have a run attack, a decent defense as well. They're probably the best quarterback we've seen in Tallahassee since Jameis Winston was down there. I don't see any other way to go, even though my record in these Dublin games has been horrible. My prediction is 41-24 Florida State. That's in consensus. 55% is on Florida State. We'll see how that goes. That's number 305 on your board. That is August 24th. All right. Now we'll skip ahead. Clemson versus Georgia, week 1 here. Does Dabo start to regret not going to the transfer portal? Different schools have but these two teams have been some of the best performers in college football the last decade. Some things Georgia might have been robbed in losing only the SEC championship last year and getting snubbed for the playoff, even though it was a great playoff. One could argue they were the biggest threat to Michigan's supremacy last year. 39 consecutive regular season games for Georgia, the longest streak since the 50s, Oklahoma in the 50s. Their only losses they've had in the last few years have been SEC championship games. For Clemson, they bring back the offensive coordinator, quarterback, running back. They don't bring in transfers. That's a policy they have. They started out 4-4 last year, and they'll be looking to avoid that this year, of course. They finished last year down the stretch, winning their last 5. In order for them to have a shot, they're going to have to run the ball against Georgia. This is really the only place Georgia is thought to have a weak spot, possibly. They're preseason ranked number 1. This would be a huge upset. Georgia minus 550 on the money line. Now, against the spread last year, Georgia was 5-8-1, only 38% of their coverage. So they've been dealing with the overinflated numbers because of all the action that has jumped on the Bulldogs. You got the public everywhere. And, this is dangerous. Lay the number here in a way. Dabo Sweeney with a well above 500 against the spread as an underdog. It seems hard to pick against the Bulldogs when you think how good they've been. But when you look at the numbers, they're Georgia Tech, Auburn, Missouri games last year, teams that were able to run the ball, able to keep it within double digits. Either team can still make the playoffs with a loss here. But I look back, where I'll make my decision at is how good did Georgia play 2 years ago when they faced Auburn or they faced Oregon. Bo Nix's first game in Oregon, and they demolished them. They have been coming in week 1 ready to play. I think, for Georgia, they might get losses in the SEC, so they don't want to take a loss out of conference here for sure. My pick is to go where the consensus money is going, which is the Georgia Bulldogs minus 13.5, pick number 160. Now, that's not very confident, but it's week one. You have to be okay. People are going to have losses, and you can't be afraid to pick what you feel is going to happen there. Some people are picking the outright upset. I'm not one of those people. All right, on down the line here. A few of these games here are just where the big consensus plays are at early, and I just added them in just to give you something to look into there. Ohio versus Syracuse. Syracuse minus 17.5 here. This is one of those situations where you think, what if Syracuse was a MAC team? Well, they have a new coach. They have high hopes. They played opening game of 2021 season, and what we see is the bettors are thinking it's going to be almost the exact same game. Wouldn't it be a perfect world? They won 29-9 in that one. Syracuse ran the ball all over Ohio. The early bread is Syracuse minus 17, and pretty much all the money's on Syracuse at this point. Which, that's a big spread. Probably get a better number live bet. Under 47.5. 90% of the bets early are on the under as well. Foul or fade, that's how it's been played. 164 Syracuse minus 17, 164 Syracuse under 47.5. All right, on to what may be the best game of the weekend. Miami minus 2 on the road at Florida. So you're probably thinking all my picks are going to be consensus based, but actually, I try to not ever have that as the reason for my pick, even though sometimes they may line up. I like there to be outside justification besides just somebody else is putting a bet on a game. Miami's being talked about as a team that's on the rise. Florida, everybody thinks this is Billy Napier's last year because how is he going to win in that vaunting SEC? And then before you even get to that, everybody's thinking they got no shot on their home field with all summer to prepare. Billy Napier's only a 2-point underdog, and this is where the Gators team, in order for the leadership to be around next year, they're going to have to outshine the general public's expectations. 70% of the consensus on the road team here with the early bets, but this is an even game. You're better off with a live bet on either side, most likely. I don't think the Canes lead the whole way. That being said, my pick is for them not to win. Swamp against Miami week 1. This one is a must-see if you're a college football fan. I'd call this one a 50-50 game. So I'm going to go with the home team to pull the upset here. 186 Florida plus 2.5. Next one is just to add in from the consensus note here. Opening a lot of money on South Alabama here as USA plays North Texas. USA minus 5 there. The 70% of that consensus coming in on South Alabama. So I added that one in there. Just a note there. I probably won't wager on small conference games myself. It's just too much to keep track of sometimes, and I can only watch so many games at a time. On down the list here, UCLA minus 13 at Hawaii. This is another one where you look at the early betting, and it's eye-opening to see 90% of the wagers going on Hawaii plus 13.5. I'm not sure what's going on. UCLA, program's moving in the right direction. It's going to get tougher though. The Big Ten, some think it's a lot tougher. Pac-12 might have been a little underrated. They were just cannibalizing each other out there in the West Coast. Possibly, we'll see how things shake out here. But my pick is Hawaii plus 13.5. Once again, I'm hesitant to take a follow just on the consensus play, but that's where the money's at right now. So I added that one in there. Another Showtime game. big time programs. Notre Dame versus Texas A&M. And this one has some other interesting storylines besides just the teams with the transfer portal. Now you got Riley Leonard coming in at QB from Duke, and then you got Texas A&M. They went and hired Duke's coach there. So storylines there. Now Duke last year played Notre Dame to a close game. Notre Dame is the underdog here, slight underdog. You know, Texas A&M. This is the first official game of the post Jimbo Fisher era. You know, the kid they have at quarterback is supposed to be second to none as far as coming up on that list of who's going to be an NFL prospect. We'll see how things pan out here. Notre Dame is a good team. One of my favorites has been my whole life. Consensus is 50-50. My pick is to go Domes, Notre Dame, 209, Notre Dame plus 2.5. And the last one here, this is a game on September the 1st here. LSU minus 6.5 versus USC. Both these teams have new quarterbacks here. I'm looking around here, doing some studying about this game. And, well, at least the USC fans, they seem to believe that USC's wide receivers are going to be a mismatch against the LSU D-backs as the game goes on. This could be a high-scoring game. Get your popcorn ready here. That, you know, probably going to see LSU a little more ready than they were the last time when they were playing Florida State. And it's just mind-boggling how they managed to make those little mistakes there. But it happens, especially in first games of the year. I mean, you got a lot of new faces in there, new quarterbacks on both sides, new running backs. You know, only 37% of the wagers or consensus are on the Trojans, but with all of the question marks on both sides of the field for both teams, my pick is Lincoln Riley. See what you can do. 218, USC plus 6.5. As always, best of luck and enjoy your college football weekend. This has been the Griff Report, College Football Edition, Week 1.